Okay, so my first question will be for Ronkẹ. As Jack's Starbrite, you are the caretaker, you're the close friend, you're there for Alex. What would you say has been her greatest lesson from season 1 that she's now going to put forth into season 2?
I think Jack's greatest lesson from season 1 that she's not going to do in season 2, she ain't going to open the door for no strangers. She's not going to let them in her kitchen. That's definitely, she's going to be more savvy in terms of who she's speaking to and what she's saying.
I like that. I like that very much. And for Brenock, we kind of seen, I hope I pronounced it right. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yay. Where would you say, you had a very strong relationship with Alex, the friendship, you saved his life from clone Alex. What would you say, how does he view life now, knowing what Alex does with the participation that you had in season 1? Is there a difference because you was a little shy? Now you're running around and kicking butt?
Yeah, I think Tom has definitely had to come out of his shell. I don't think it was a natural progression or anything that he saw coming, but it was more, right, my friend's getting in danger. I can't let him go in alone. I guess I'm going to have to get okay with being put in danger. But also there is that side of Tom still, which is if there's a way to avoid getting shot at, let's go for that one because then we don't die. But sadly, in the worlds that Alex mixes in, it usually is men with guns coming for us. So yeah, we got to take some of them down.
So for both of you, we do know that Alex does kind of want a peaceful life. He really doesn't want to get involved with all of this. But we know that the life ends up pulling him back in again. That's why we have a season 2. What would you say, going forth of learning everything from the previous season, if you could have a conversation with Alex, what advice would you give him?
I think my advice would be, let's move. No, I think, the thing is about Alex is that he's got such a capacity to teach himself and others just about like life experiences and exploring and really standing up for what is right. Mm-hmm. So if I could have a conversation with Alex as Ronkẹ,
yes,
I'd be like, so what kind of things drive you? Like, what's your driving force in all of the stuff that you do? Because you're obviously very, very connected to this stuff. Something's driving you. What is it? Jack would be like, let's move. Please, let's move.
What about you for Tom?
I think if it was me as Brenock, I'd say, man, you got to slow down. You got to take a second. You are running yourself into a wall, and the wall is going to stand longer than you do. And as Tom, I'd say, just be nicer, dude. Take a second. I know there's a lot on your plate, but can we just have a film night? We've still not had that film night that we've been planning since like episode 2. Like we're now 2 seasons in, and we've still not had that film. Where is that film night gone?
Right, understand perfectly. So I was wondering for Tom though, his parents got divorced. He's the captain of the football team. So it's like some downsides, some upsides. How would you say emotionally he's able to balance the negatives and the positives?
I think it's for once, Tom is not doing it in the most healthy way. I think he's taken the old masculine route of repress and we'll deal with it after the issue's done. Because there's no time for emotion when there's guys with guns. Like, right. If you want to have a cry, but you'll be an easier target because you stood still crying. So sadly, it is one of those things where the world that he's caught up in is such a whirlwind and he's not trained for it at all. At least Alex has had a little bit of training here, and well, a lot of training from Ian to build him right into that world. But Tom is just a school kid whose mate happens to be a spy. So he really doesn't have the tools to deal with it emotionally or physically. So it really is a case of stay alive for the moment and I can deal about how much it's going to mess me up later.
Do you feel that Tom needs a friend who's not associated with any kind of spy, but is just normal and regular, someone he could talk to and balance his life with?
That's the thing, is even if he had that, he'd want to tell them about the things that are going on in the spy life, and he can't. And that's the trouble with secrets in any form, is they are always going to be invasive and you're always going to want to bring them into a situation where you can't because it's a secret. So it's, yeah, I think even if Tom had, like he has in Steph, his girlfriend in this season, it creates his own problems because she picks up that he's lying to her, and it's not always as healthy as it seems to keep secrets.
Starbrite's citizenship was threatened during the first season. And so with that, and knowing that she can be threatened, not so easily, but things can be taken away from her, do we see a different side of her where she's kind of more cautious, or is she like, screw it all, if you're going to take me away, then I'm going full blast at everything?
You know, I think Jack is actually really good at compartmentalizing stuff. Like, you don't actually, for Jack, I don't think it's at the forefront of her mind that she doesn't have permanent citizenship in the UK. Mm-hmm. I think that she's literally learning on the job, especially when it's coming to the fact that she and Alex and Tom are now this family that kind of have no one else, you know, having any input or guidance around the way these kids are being, you know, basic things, fed, what they're watching, what they're eating, what they're doing, do you know what I mean? She's almost just the only person that everyone manages to just go, yeah, Jack will sort it out. And it's just, oh, okay. So I think she has to not think about it to be able to take the risks that she wants to take in this season and in her life story. You know, one of the biggest things she did was leave America to come and study in the UK. Huge risk, huge. Right. And she's just gone, yeah, you know, you only live once, might as well.
But by not being able to kind of reflect upon everything that's happened and kind of just going with the emotions, how would you say mentally is she able to really cope and fully grasp everything that's happening? Or is it still just playing with the emotions for season 2?
That's really interesting. I think it's hard unless you actually take the time to reflect. You're not really aware of what the emotions might have done to you anyway. Mm-hmm. So it seems that she has buried herself in her work and buried herself in the ongoings of Alex and Tom, that she kind of hasn't had a moment to go, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? How is this supposed to be done? So actually, it kind of leaves room for, what's that saying where you leave yourself open? There's room for attack without the reflection, you know, which makes her very, very human.
Oof. Okay. So for there's a lot that's going on with these characters. So for season 2, I was wondering, for your characters, if you could have a tagline, what would you say?
That's such a good question.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Yours would be give me a break.
Give me a break.
What would mine be? Mine would be have you seen Alex?
That works as well.
It so is.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I enjoyed the season. I look forward to more. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Take care.
You
too.
Lovely chatting.
Thank you.